Hello friends, this is Radhika Goyal and you are watching my channel Biology on Tips. Today we are going to discuss about the respiratory system. First of all, the question that arises to our mind is, what is respiration? So the answer is the process of breaking down of glucose in presence or absence of oxygen to release energy is called as respiration. See, respiration का actual meaning क्या है? देखिए, हम रेस्पिरेशन को समझते हैं कि इट इज़ द एक्सचेंज ऑफ गैसेस, सांस लेना और सांस बाहर निकालना, दैट इज़ द रेस्पिरेशन. नो, रेस्पिरेशन 3 लेवल पर होता है. वन इज़ द external level, that means when the air is released out and it is taken in. Second, when the exchange of gases takes place in the lungs. And third is the cellular respiration, that is the breaking down of glucose to release energy. So यहाँ जो एक्चुअल मीनिंग होता है रेस्पिरेशन का वो यही होता है कि जो हम खाना खाते हैं, ग्लूकोज का जब फॉर्मेशन हो जाता है उस खाने से, तो वो ग्लूकोज फर्दर ब्रेक डाउन हो रहा है कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड प्लस वाटर में इन ऑर्डर टू रिलीज ह्यूज अमाउंट ऑफ एनर्जी. लेकिन कभी कभी ऐसा हो सकता है कि ऑक्सीजन के एब्सेंस में भी ब्रेक डाउन हो रहा हो ग्लूकोज का, उस टाइम कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड और वाटर नहीं बनता, उस टाइम कुछ और प्रोडक्ट्स बनते हैं और एनर्जी कम बनती है. तो चलिए देखते हैं ज़रा. The process of breaking down of glucose in presence or absence of oxygen to release energy is called as respiration. It is a catabolic process. There are two terms, catabolic and anabolic. Catabolic term हम तब यूज़ करते हैं जब हम कोई रिएक्शन में ब्रेकिंग डाउन रिएक्शन है, और एनाबॉलिक यूज़ करते हैं जब कोई फॉर्मेशन रिएक्शन है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल फोटोसिंथेसिस. So respiration is a type of catabolic process because breaking down of glucose takes place here. This is a vital process, very important point. ये वाइटल प्रोसेस है. क्यों? क्योंकि हर लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म जो इस अर्थ पर प्रेजेंट है, हर वो ऑर्गेनिज्म जो जिंदा है, लिविंग है, उसके अंदर रेस्पिरेशन होगा ही होगा. क्यों होगा उसके बारे में आगे बात करेंगे. इसमें जो एनर्जी रिलीज होती है, it is released in the form of ATP. So energy during the process of respiration is released in the form of ATP. Now the question arises, why respiration is a vital process? मैंने अभी आपको बोला कि रेस्पिरेशन चाहे प्रोकैरियोटिक हो सेल या यूकैरियोटिक हो, यूनिसेलर ऑर्गेनिज्म हो चाहे मल्टीसेलर ऑर्गेनिज्म हो, रेस्पिरेशन होगा ही होगा. क्यों? बिकॉज each and every organism requires energy to carry out its metabolic activities and to perform various functions. हर organism की बॉडी के अंदर functions हो रहे हैं, उन functions को carry out करने के लिए energy की requirement है, और वो एनर्जी हमें कौन प्रोवाइड करेगा? रेस्पिरेशन. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर हम मूव कर रहे हैं, ब्रीथ कर रहे हैं, या खाना खा रहे हैं, डांस कर रहे हैं, कोई भी एक्टिविटी कर रहे हैं, सो दैट एक्टिविटी रिक्वायर्स एनर्जी. इवन व्हेन वी आर स्लीपिंग, दैट टाइम ऑल्सो वी रिक्वायर एनर्जी. सो वो एनर्जी कौन प्रोवाइड करेगा? वो एनर्जी रेस्पिरेशन से आएगी जब ग्लूकोज का ब्रेकडाउन होगा हमारी बॉडी सेल्स के अंदर. Next, what are the types of respiration? So respiration is basically of two types, aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. If I'm talking about aerobic as the term is suggesting, in presence of oxygen. So respiration takes place in presence of oxygen is called as aerobic respiration, and if the respiration takes place in absence of oxygen, then it is called as anaerobic respiration. Secondly, in case of aerobic respiration, because oxidation of glucose is taking place in presence of oxygen, so here complete oxidation of food takes place in case of aerobic respiration. Whereas in case of anaerobic respiration, incomplete oxidation of glucose takes place because this process is taking place in absence of oxygen. Next point, the final products, because here complete oxidation is taking place, so final products will be carbon dioxide and water. लेकिन यहाँ पर एनारोबिक के केस में फाइनल प्रोडक्ट्स क्या होंगे आपके? इथेनॉल एंड कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड. देयर विल नॉट बी फॉर्मेशन ऑफ H2O. नेक्स्ट, इन केस ऑफ एरोबिक रेस्पिरेशन, अगेन द सेम पॉइंट, बिकॉज द कंप्लीट ऑक्सीडेशन ऑफ फूड इज टेकिंग प्लेस, so maximum amount of energy is released, which is 36 ADP or 38 ADP depending upon the cell. And in case of anaerobic respiration, very less amount of energy is released and it is around 2 ATP only. Aerobic respiration takes place in cytoplasm and mitochondria, whereas anaerobic respiration takes place in cytoplasm. See, यहाँ पर एक बहुत important concept है, जो anaerobic respiration है, it is generally found in prokaryotic cells. So वहाँ पर membrane bound cell organelles like mitochondria absent है, तो वहाँ पर जो जितना भी ये प्रोसेस होगा रेस्पिरेशन का वो कहाँ होगा, साइटोप्लाज्म के अंदर. एग्जाम्पल्स, it is found generally in all eukaryotic cells like amoeba, hydra, coelentrates, poriferans, platyhelminthes, whatever organism it is, and it is generally found in prokaryotic cell like bacteria. Next question, if I am talking about yeast, इस पर भी एक क्वेश्चन आता है, डिस्क्राइब रेस्पिरेशन इन ईस्ट. सो ईस्ट बड़ा कंफ्यूजिंग सा लगता है. वैसे ईस्ट इज़ अ यूकैरियोटिक ऑर्गेनिज्म, सो अकॉर्डिंगली उसको एरोबिक कंडीशन एरोबिकली रिस्पायर करना चाहिए, लेकिन ईस्ट दोनों तरीके से रिस्पायर करता है, एरोबिकली भी और एनारोबिकली. कैसे? ईस्ट रिस्पायर्स थ्रू बोथ द मेथड्स, एरोबिक एज वेल एज एनारोबिक. During bread making, the yeast respires aerobically, producing water and also carbon dioxide to make the dough rise. Whereas, if I am talking about yeast, it performs anaerobic respiration during production of ethanol called as fermentation. जब कभी भी इथेनॉल या अल्कोहलिक बेवरेजेस का प्रिपरेशन किया जाता है ईस्ट को लेकर, उस केस में जानबूझ के ईस्ट को एनारोबिकली, डिस्परेटली एनारोबिकली रिस्पायर करवाया जाता है in order to produce ethanol. That process is called as fermentation. During this process, carbon dioxide gas is also produced. Slide. That is the breaking down of glucose. How the breakdown of glucose takes place. So here is a flow chart which is very important for your exam point of view. If I am talking about glucose, ग्लूकोज सबसे पहले ब्रेकडाउन होगा पायरुविक एसिड में, ऑल्सो कॉल्ड एज पायरुवेट. पायरुवेट लिखा हो या पायरुविक एसिड लिखा हो, बात एक ही है. दिस प्रोसेस इज कॉल्ड एज ग्लाइकोलाइसिस. दिस प्रोसेस इज कॉल्ड एज ग्लाइकोलाइसिस एंड दिस प्रोसेस डज नॉट रिक्वायर एनी अमाउंट ऑफ ऑक्सीजन. सो दिस प्रोसेस इज यूनिवर्सल स्टेप. It will found in all aerobic as well as in anaerobic respiration conditions. So in case of this glucose converting into pyruvate, this reaction is taking place in cytoplasm. Small amount of energy is also liberated during this process. Now from pyruvate, the fate of pyruvate depends upon the organism, whether it will go for this step or it will go for this step or it will go to this step. So if a organism is aerobe, that means it has to perform aerobic respiration, then in that case this pyruvic acid will break down into carbon dioxide and water and it will liberate a huge amount of energy. This process will be completed in mitochondria and this reaction is called as Krebs cycle and ETS, electron transport system. So first step is this one. Second step, if the organism is performing out the process of respiration in absence of oxygen, अगर absence of oxygen वाली condition है, then in that case it will perform the respiration in this way. It will form ethanol and carbon dioxide and small amount of energy, that is around 2 ATP. But you can see there is one more condition, that is lack of oxygen. This condition is found in humans when in the muscle cells, when there is lack of oxygen. During this condition, lactic acid is formed and energy is liberated, which is around 12 ATP. This condition we will discuss in detail. Next, this question generally comes in 10th board exam. Why muscle cramps occur after vigorous exercise? The answer is due to accumulation of lactic acid in muscle tissues. How you will explain this? When a person performs excessive exercise, the amount of oxygen decreases in the body tissues, but at the same time our body requires Energy for continuous muscle contraction. So in lack of oxygen condition, muscle respires anaerobically and forms lactic acid plus energy, hence muscle cramp occur. मतलब क्या है कि जब कभी भी हम एक्सरसाइज कर रहे हैं कंटिन्यूसली, तब हमारे मसल्स में थोड़ा थोड़ा दर्द होने लगता है. दैट पेन, दैट क्रैम्प इज बिकॉज ऑफ द एक्यूमुलेशन ऑफ लैक्टिक एसिड. वो लैक्टिक एसिड इसलिए बना क्योंकि हमारी मसल्स, क्योंकि कंटिन्यूस एक्सरसाइज कर रही थी, वर्कआउट कर रही थी, तो उसको ऑक्सीजन का सप्लाई कंटिन्यूस नहीं मिल पाया. जब उसको ऑक्सीजन सप्लाई कंटिन्यूस नहीं मिल पाया तो उसने एरोबिकली रिस्पायर करने की जगह एनारोबिकली रिस्पायर करना शुरू किया. दैट इज लैक ऑफ ऑक्सीजन. मतलब ऑक्सीजन है लेकिन कम मात्रा में है. इन ऑर्डर टू प्रोवाइड एनर्जी, कंटिन्यूस एनर्जी टू अवर मसल्स, hence it starts forming lactic acid and it forms energy. Next, what is ATP? Very important question again. ATP stands for adenosine triphosphate. It is an energy rich molecule. The energy released during respiration is immediately utilized in the synthesis of a molecule called ATP. Can you see this diagram here? This diagram shows a clear-cut conversion of ATP and ADP. There are two compounds, ATP and ADP. Both are nucleotides. One is adenosine triphosphate and ADP is adenosine diphosphate. एडिनोसिन डाइफॉस्फेट में जब इनऑर्गेनिक फॉस्फेट जुड़ जाएगा, एक और फॉस्फेट ग्रुप अटैच हो जाएगा तो ट्राइफॉस्फेट बन जाएगा. लेकिन ये कब होगा? जब कोई कैटाबॉलिक प्रोसेस में एडीपी इन्वॉल्व होगी. दैट मीन्स व्हेनेवर ब्रेकिंग डाउन ऑफ समथिंग इज टेकिंग प्लेस, देन दिस एडीपी will take the energy molecule, that inorganic phosphate molecule, and convert it into ATP. Now this ATP will act as a energy currency for the cell. So whenever a anabolic process is taking place inside our body, anabolic means formation reaction is taking place inside anyone's body, then this ATP will release energy and it will convert into ADP plus inorganic phosphate. तो उसने जब वो एनर्जी रिलीज करी इस बॉन्ड को तोड़ने में, वो एनर्जी एनाबॉलिज्म में यूटिलाइज हो जाएगी. नेक्स्ट, हाउ रेस्पिरेशन टेक्स प्लेस इन प्लांट्स. सी, प्लांट्स आर वेरी यूनिक इन नेचर. दे आर वेरी यूनिक because each part of the plant, whether it is root, stem or leaf, it can carry out the process of respiration due to the process of diffusion. Diffusion is the movement of molecules from higher concentration to its lower concentration. So all the parts of plants participate in the process of respiration, whether it is root, stem or leaf. But in case of woody stem, the bark has lenticels. They have lenticels for the exchange of gases because wood is a non-living structure. तो वहाँ से कैसे गैसेस एक्सचेंज होगा? तो उसके लिए वहाँ पर उनके पास क्या होता है? lenticels. And in case of leaves, if I'm talking about leaves, in leaves the exchange of gases takes place through stomata. What are stomata? The tiny pores present on the surface of leaf for the exchange of gases. They are formed by guard cells. If I am talking about respiration in animals, so respiration in animals takes place with the help of different respiratory organs. It depends upon their habitat, कि animal किस habitat में रह रहा है, उसके ऊपर डिपेंड करता है कि उसके अंदर किस टाइप का respiratory organ present होगा. If I am talking about aquatic animals like fishes, they have gills. Whereas if I am talking about land animals, they respire through lungs. But there are certain exceptions also. See, habitat के ऊपर सब कुछ डिपेंड करता है ऑर्गेनिज्म की कि वो कैसे रिस्पायर करेगा. रिस्पायर करेगा ज़रूर, लेकिन कैसे करेगा वो थोड़ा सा उसके हैबिटाट के ऊपर डिपेंड करता है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर मैं फ्रॉग की बात करूँ, इट रिस्पायर्स थ्रू लंग्स एंड स्किन बोथ, whereas earthworm respires through skin only. That's why earthworm are found in moist condition. Whereas if I'm talking about different insects like cockroach, grasshopper, etc., they respire through tracheal system or trachea. Next question that generally comes in board, class 10th board exam. Why the rate of respiration is more in aquatic organisms than terrestrial organisms? मतलब aquatic animals के अगर हम respiratory rate calculate करें तो terrestrial के comparison में हमेशा ज़्यादा मिलता है. क्यों? Because in aquatic animals they have to take the oxygen from water. So oxygen is present in dissolved manner in water, which has less concentration in water. So it happens because the concentration of oxygen is less in water than air. Therefore, rate of respiration increases in the aquatic animals than terrestrial ones. Very important question. Now come to the human respiratory system. See, इस लेक्चर में मैं आपको ह्यूमन रेस्पिरेटरी सिस्टम के बारे में बता रही हूँ और ब्रीदिंग मैकेनिज्म के बारे में बताऊंगी. इसके अलावा जो सेलुलर रेस्पिरेशन है और हाउ द इंटरनल रेस्पिरेशन टेक्स प्लेस, दैट आई विल शो यू इन माय सेपरेट लेक्चर्स. ओके, सो स्टार्ट करते हैं ह्यूमन रेस्पिरेटरी सिस्टम. सो यू कैन सी द डायग्राम हैज़ बीन टेकन फ्रॉम NCERT. You can see this is the windpipe called as trachea, and just above the trachea there is larynx. Larynx is called as the voice box where the production of sound takes place. In case of males it is quite protruding, called as Adam's apple, and just above the larynx you can see a hood like structure which is called as epiglottis. Epiglottis is a cartilaginous structure which falls down on trachea, on windpipe when we swallow the food. जब कभी भी हम खाना खाते हैं तो इसी ट्रैकिया के जस्ट बराबर में से हमारी फूड पाइप गुजर रही होती है, जिसे हम ईसोफेगस कहते हैं. तो ईसोफेगस में खाना जाना है, ट्रैकिया में खाना नहीं जाना है. तो उस केस में गलती से खाना ना चला जाए इसलिए एपिग्लॉटिस किसके ऊपर गिर जाता है? ट्रैकिया के ऊपर गिर जाता है इन ऑर्डर टू कवर इट. You can see these rings. These rings are the cartilaginous rings. They are found in the complete trachea till bronchus. They are found in the whole respiratory system. In order to prevent the respiratory tract from collapsing when we exhale out air. जब कभी भी हम एयर को एक्सेल आउट करते हैं तो ये पूरा रेस्पिरेटरी सिस्टम हमारा कोलैप्स ना कर जाए. इन ऑर्डर टू प्रोवाइड स्ट्रेंथ, these trachea and below trachea there are rings of cartilage present, and they are incomplete from the back side. That means they are C-shaped. No. Now if I'm talking about trachea continues into right and left bronchus. This is called as bronchus. Bronchus will divide into primary bronchiole, secondary bronchiole and tertiary bronchiole, and finally the tertiary bronchiole will divide into alveoli. So you can see small structures. These are called as alveoli, or I can say alveolar sac, where the actual respiration takes place, where the actual gaseous exchange will take place. Now you can see one more thing here. The lungs are covered with yellow colored covering. This covering is made up of two membranes called as pleura, or I can say pleural membrane. Okay, and you can see this structure. These are the ribs which are attached, which are covering our lungs, and they are providing the lungs protection. These are the ribs. Our lungs are protected by rib cage. That is why the lungs are protected in rib cage, and rib cage is formed by ribs. You can see just below the lungs there is a dome shaped structure. This dome shaped structure is called as diaphragm. It plays a very important role in the process of breathing. How? We will discuss. Very important diagram for class 10th board exam. Now if I am talking about the components of human respiratory system, lungs are the primary respiratory organ in humans. Hence this respiration is called as pulmonary respiration. देखिए दो टाइप के respiration होते हैं. One is the pulmonary respiration and second is the cutaneous respiration. If the respiration is taking place through lungs, then it is called as pulmonary respiration. But if the respiration is taking place through skin, then it is called as cutaneous respiration. Lungs are present in the thoracic cavity, also called as chest cavity. ह्यूमन रेस्पिरेटरी सिस्टम के अंदर क्या क्या पार्ट्स आएंगे, ये एक अपने आप में क्वेश्चन भी है और बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट टॉपिक भी है. दैट इज कॉल्ड एज ह्यूमन रेस्पिरेटरी ट्रैक्ट और ट्री. सो द ह्यूमन रेस्पिरेटरी ट्रैक्ट स्टार्ट्स फ्रॉम नॉस्ट्रिल. Nostrils open into nasal cavity. Nasal cavities open into pharynx. Then they open into trachea. The pharynx open into trachea. Then trachea open into bronchi. Then bronchioles, and finally bronchioles open into alveoli. So alveoli is the site where exchange of gases takes place. So I can say that the functional unit of lungs is the alveoli. The walls of alveoli are well supplied by blood capillaries so that the deoxygenated blood, that is the impure blood coming towards the lungs, will get oxygenated or pure. Now coming to the mechanism of breathing. If I am talking about the mechanism of breathing, breathing is a very complex process, complex mechanical process which involves a lot of muscular movement in order to decrease the size of the chest cavity, in order to increase as well as decrease the size of the chest cavity volume, and thereby the volume of the lungs also decreases or increases. How? We will see. It is a involuntary process. ये जो ब्रीदिंग है वैसे तो इनवॉलेंट्री प्रोसेस है, हमें कभी सोचना नहीं पड़ता कि हमें सांस लेना है. बट सपोज इफ़ आई एम डूइंग योगा, अगर मुझे योगा करना है या कोई पर्टिकुलर एक्सरसाइज करनी है, आई हैव टू कंट्रोल माई ब्रीदिंग, दैन इन दैट केस इट इज़ कंट्रोल्ड बाय अवर ब्रेन. द साइज ऑफ द thoracic cavity changes due to external and internal intercostal muscles, very important, and due to contraction and expansion of diaphragm. तो हमारा जो चेस्ट कैविटी है उस चेस्ट कैविटी का साइज इंक्रीज और डिक्रीज करने में दो मसल्स का सबसे बड़ा रोल होता है. सबसे पहला internal and external intercostal muscles, and second one is the diaphragm. Diaphragm is a dome shaped structure made up of circular muscles which is C shape in resting condition. The normal rate of respiration is 12 to 20 times per minute. Now if I am talking about inspiration or inhalation, what is it? Taking of atmospheric air into thoracic cavity is called as inhalation. What is inhalation? Taking of atmospheric air into thoracic cavity is called as inhalation. During inhalation क्या होगा? The ribs will move upward. Due to contraction in intercostal muscles, the diaphragm contracts. जब diaphragm contract होगा तो वो flat हो जाएगा. It contracts, due to which the size of the thoracic cavity increases. If the size, or I can say volume of the thoracic cavity will increase, the pressure will decrease. Hence, it allows the air to enter inside the lungs. ज़रा देखते हैं इसको डायग्राम से. Here is the diagram in front of you. देखिए, the ribs will move upwards with the help of intercostal muscles, plus the diaphragm which was present in this position, it will contract, due to which it will become flat. जब ये ऊपर जाएंगी ribs और diaphragm नीचे जाएगा तो overall chest cavity का जो volume है वो बढ़ जाएगा, it will increase, and when it will increase, the volume will increase, so pressure will decrease, and air flows from high pressure to low pressure, so air will blow inside the lungs. This is how inspiration or inhalation takes place. During expiration, the process is completely reversed that takes place during inspiration. देखते हैं ज़रा. What is expiration? Giving out of carbon dioxide from the lungs is called as exhalation or expiration. During exhalation, the ribs moves downwards due to relaxation in intercostal muscles. The diaphragm relaxes. As a result, it becomes dome shaped again, due to which the size of the thoracic cavity decreases and pressure inside the cavity increases. Hence, it allows the carbon dioxide to release out of the lungs. This process is completely opposite of inspiration. Let's see from the diagram. Ribs जो ऊपर की साइड उठी थी इंटरकोस्टल मसल के कॉन्ट्रैक्शन की वजह से, नाउ दे विल कम टूवर्ड्स टू देयर ओरिजिनल पोजीशन, वो नीचे की साइड आ रही है. फिर जो डायाफ्राम जो यहाँ पर आ गया था, इट इज़ अगेन relaxing, so it is coming towards its original position again, that is the dome shape. So overall volume of the chest cavity is decreasing, so pressure will increase. So pressure will increase, so the air will blow out of the lungs. This is how expiration takes place. Thank you for watching my video. The next part of this respiratory system you will get soon. If you like my video, don't forget to like and subscribe my channel. Share my video if you like it. Please comment if you have any doubt or how you like the video. आपको वीडियो कैसी लगी उसके बारे में ज़रूर कमेंट करिएगा. आप हमें फेसबुक ट्विटर पर भी कैच कर सकते हैं. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter. You can also play quiz of our app on Quiz app. Thank you so much once again.